Alright guys, so we're gonna do a moto vlog, and I'm gonna admit something to you. This is actually the second attempt on the same moto vlog. I did this moto vlog yesterday, but apparently I talked too loud and my connection is loose and all kinds of other troubled things are happening. So this time I'm gonna talk a little softer. I have my GoPro completely taped up. Man, this thing is getting old. Anyways, I'm starting in District 4. I'm gonna show you on Google Maps right now where I'm starting at, and we're gonna do a little bit of a loop around. In this video, I'm gonna try a little bit to imitate what I did yesterday. The one I did yesterday was really good. I'm also gonna show you guys around District 4, and I'm going to show you the food market in District 4. I'm gonna show you a really good place to buy cigarettes. I'm gonna answer and respond to some subscriber questions. If you wanna know the time, it's about 1 p.m. on a Saturday. And I'm gonna drive for a little bit and then I'm gonna pull over and check this sound. I'm really concerned about the sound quality. I'm gonna tell you what I did with that other moto vlog too. I am making it available, but I'll tell you at the end of the video what I'm gonna do with it. So, I hope you enjoyed the scenery thus far. I'm gonna pull over right quick and see how this sounds while I'm actually moving and talking softly. Okay, well honestly, it sounded pretty good. There may have been some high points in the volume. It's really picking up the ambient noise very, very well. I'm gonna tuck it in my shirt a little bit. That will actually probably help quite a bit. All right, but I gotta keep my voice low because if I talk loudly, the sound pops. This GoPro is getting very, very old and needs to be replaced. Wonder how loud that horn was. Anyways, this is the main street on District 4. I frequent the street all the time, but admittedly, I mostly do it at night. There is a stark contrast to this street and the street I'm about to show you up here, which we call Food Street. A stark contrast to what it looks like during the daytime and what it looks like at nighttime. If you guys want me to do a nighttime version of this moto vlog where I come through here at night so you can see the difference, let me know in the comments and I will happily do it. It's not a problem. So that right there was me checking to make sure my GoPro is on. I am such a scatterbrain sometimes, especially today. I don't know, but let's just say especially on days where I don't sleep much. Last night I slept a little over 3 hours, closer to the 4-hour mark. I had to get up really early because I had some classes. Anyhow, this street at night, like most streets in Ho Chi Minh City, are absolutely lit up at night. You know, if you guys are from America, I know a lot of you aren't, but I'm from America, so I can only compare it to American cities. But American cities, I can compare Ho Chi Minh City to, and pretty much like almost all of Vietnam. I've been all the way to the Chinese border and back. It's like Reno or Vegas. There are just neon signs everywhere. The whole city just looks like a party city to somebody that hasn't been here before. Because you see, you associate neon lights with like bars and clubs and casinos and stuff like that. Everything has a neon light here. The street I just turned down, by the way, is Food Street. Right now it is absolutely dead, but at night this place is popping. There will be 1,000 people. I'm pretty sure I'm not exaggerating. 1,000 people on this street. It'll be lit up. There will be the smells of food. This is a very, very popular street in District 4, and it's known for their food. I've actually eaten here quite a few times. So, in some other news, before I get on to answering some of my subscribers' questions, is, well, they're doing some rearranging at my schools, and I had some of my hours cut back just temporarily. When I first got sent to the school that I was teaching at, I have to use the past tense form now, I was teaching at, I was a very inexperienced teacher. Now that I've gained a lot of experience, they've rotated me out. And they're moving me to different positions while rotating the less experienced teachers in. And that, for me, unfortunately, has caused me to lose about 60% of my classes until they find a place for me. So essentially right now, at my old school where I was the sole teacher, there are 3 teachers there now. And they're all less experienced, non-native teachers. And I actually wanted to touch upon this subject a little bit when it comes to teaching here in Vietnam and pay rates, because that has been one of the questions I've gotten. But before we get to that, I want to draw your attention to the left over here. This is the famous Cum Tam. I'm actually going to pull over. This is the famous Cum Tam place, and I did a video here, and it was almost self-prophetic, a self-fulfilling prophecy, I guess would be a better way to put it. I was saying that it was the best Cum Tam in Ho Chi Minh City, and the newspaper actually came out, I don't know, about 6 months later, and said it indeed was the best Cum Tam in Ho Chi Minh City. Anyways, if you haven't checked that video, if I remember to, I'll throw it up there on the right. It actually is really, really good. And earlier I mentioned where I get my cigarettes from. You guys are looking for a spot, and this guy's probably gonna look at me like I'm an absolute weirdo because I just did this yesterday. And in that yesterday's video, he was standing there staring at me like, why is this guy looking at me, talking with a GoPro on his helmet? Well, the reason why I'm doing that again today is to show you guys for the first time, because you guys don't see the video when the first time I did this. This is actually the best place to buy cigarettes in Ho Chi Minh City. I don't know what's different about this place that allows it to offer cheaper prices, but I haven't found anywhere cheaper than Ho Chi Minh City. And I've been coming here for so long, the guy actually recognizes my fat bearded face, so he doesn't raise the prices on me terribly as cigarette prices have gone up, which they have over the past couple of years. He's given me a 5K increase on my normal carton of cigarettes. And I think they've gone up total maybe 15K, so. And the reason why I say that is because when the girls serve me, they charge me the higher price. It's only the guy, which I wish I could show you, but he would be on my, oh, there he is. He's coming out here with a cigarette. That's the man right there. Anyhow, let's go down this alleyway. This alleyway right here, I actually did a video on this alleyway, but much, much further down a while ago. But this alleyway is this alleyway is where my girlfriend comes to buy her fish sauce and other sauces. And there's also there's a lot of good shops here. But I did a video on the secret unseen streets of Ho Chi Minh City, and it was a very interesting video because what happened was a truck or a car or an SUV, I can't remember what specifically, what Pacific Ocean it was, but it blocked the entire street and it caused a 100 bike pileup. It was absolutely insane. If you haven't checked that video, that portion of the video is pretty interesting. If I remember to, I'll link it up in the right. One time I actually took a wrong turn down this alleyway too. It was late at night and I was trying to get to Duc from District 7. District 7 is where I used to live. And it was late at night and I was trying to follow Google Maps and this street was packed and I ended up getting stuck on the street for 30 minutes. So like I said, the city is such a stark contrast between daytime and nighttime. We're gonna head up here and turn left. So what was I talking about? Ah, yes. My classes. My income has taken a huge hit. I went from 27 periods to 12 set periods, and I managed to pick up 4 periods this morning. That's why I was up so early. And I have a 2 periods tomorrow, but I have to drive an hour and a half round trip to do it, which kind of sucks. But I'm so desperate for income right now after losing 60% of my classes, I will take just about anything. Hopefully this won't last much longer. I was told by my handler, I like saying handler, the guy that assigns me classes due to the district in which I live, that it'll take a week or two and then I'll be back up to normal. But that's a week or two of a damaged paycheck, and we're talking hundreds upon hundreds of dollars that I'm gonna lose because of this transition. And on top of that, we're coming up on summertime, which means I'm gonna have to find employment elsewhere during the summer. Now there's lots of opportunities, so no worries. I'm not too worried about it. I'm doing the classic thing that I do here in Saigon and most people do, is I'm using this old lady and this old man as a car shield, blocking myself in the traffic. I didn't do it intentionally, but oftentimes I will do it intentionally, but I'll usually use cars. That way if somebody gets smashed, it'll be the car first instead of me. What you see ahead of us is the Texco. Hopefully the camera's picking it up. Should be. Very famous here in Ho Chi Minh City. I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna take a left and we're gonna go back down the main drag of District 4. And then I'm gonna hang a right But I'm gonna go a little bit of a different way than I did in the video I did yesterday. I'm gonna go down towards the river, which is gonna lead me into one of my subscribers and friend. I would call him a friend because I've talked to him on Discord, voice chat, and regular chat. So I've talked to him for quite a while. He's been a Patreon of mine for a long time. I think I've siphoned $5 a month off of him for, I don't know, 9 months. So that's pretty cool. You know, the saying, a friend with weed is a friend indeed. I don't smoke weed, but same thing applies. A friend with a subscription is a friend indeed. I know that doesn't rhyme. Doesn't rhyme. Doesn't rhymes. Let's go down this way. Actually, I think this is the exact route I took yesterday to get on the water. Boy, I tell you what, I am super worried about this sound. I went out and did a 45-minute one yesterday, and it was a great moto vlog. I was talkative. I had just drank a high Bombay, which is essentially liquid, insert illicit substance here, and it really gets me going. Some words I guess I just don't want to say on YouTube. You know the YouTube AI or algorithm? Oh, this is not the street I took yesterday. Actually knows every single word that you say in a video. Isn't that crazy? Even if you don't write captions. Yeah, nutty, right? You guys heard about that? What is that, chatbot or? Man, I forgot what that was called. The new things that you can actually tell to write a book for you as a certain author, and it will do so. I'm gonna make a U-turn here because it looks to be illegal. You won't catch me doing illegal things on camera. Oh, this reminds me, this is not where I was yesterday, but this is where I will get on the water. So I know what I'm gonna have to do. Anyways, I'm not gonna do illegal things on camera because the same rule in America applies here when it comes to social media. And that is, whatever you do on social media or post publicly, that is a crime you can be charged for. So keep that in mind. It's not that I'm driving any different or anything. Boy, I'm gonna have to do a real loop about to get to where I'm going. So we're gonna go down to the bottom of this bridge. Not sure what district this is. Oh, this is District 1. So we're gonna go down to the bottom of this bridge and we're gonna U around, and then we're gonna try to get on the water so I can get to that subscriber's question. But life updates, you know, life's been good, I would have to say. I haven't been making YouTube videos as often because, well, I've been really busy. I started this channel during COVID and I had a lot of time and I was generating a lot of new subscribers, a lot of success, which reminds me, I'd say about 75% to 80% of the people that watch my channel aren't subscribed. I know it's a pretty intimate thing to do, to hit that subscribe button, but it would mean a lot to me. It would allow me to see that there are people that are interested in hearing my story or hearing me talk about my life. I even changed the words. I don't even say expatriating anymore because I didn't actually expatriate, but immigrating to Vietnam. I'd really, really appreciate that. I'm starting to get a little worried because I'm trying to figure out where I am. Back in District 4 on that main street. Hey, that's that Cum Tam place that I was telling you about. They actually changed a lot of it to a bike shop, but at night, those bike shops close down and they bring the tables out. They do the Cum Tam right here. Anyhow, let's move along. Yesterday, I did make a little bit of a mistake and I wandered into District 8. I got the burps right now. Oh, it tastes like milk coffee. Yummy. This time I'm gonna try to get on the water a different way, but I think, let me think here. Actually, I think I wanna go the same way, because if I go the same way, I can better answer subscribers' questions. So let's go this way. Yeah, this is the way we wanna go. We're gonna get up on the highway. We're gonna flip around. We're gonna go into District 8, turn around, and go where the water borders, just between District 7 and District 4. It actually gives me a good opportunity, I believe, to talk about this street right here. On the other side of the water here is the famous Vo Van Keet. It's a very, very nice drive. I've done a little bit of a nighttime moto vlog on that street. It was New Year's. No, yeah. It was New Year's. Tet holiday. And during a portion of that moto vlog, actually drove down that street. It's a really wonderful drive, both day and night. Very cool by the water. But this gives me an opportunity, this is still District 4, to talk about these apartment complexes you see here on my left. The apartment complexes we're seeing together on my left, are actually really, really expensive. I used to know a girl that lived in one of these. It might be one of these up here. I don't really know her anymore. But I was up to her apartment with one of my friends at the time, and she was way up there. And she had a really nice view overlooking the river to where you were actually looking like down on people's roofs. It was a wonderful view of the city, but those apartments are super expensive. The water doesn't have a very clean look to it. I wouldn't recommend it for swimming. Those of you that frequent my channel a lot know a guy named Martin, and he lives out in the countryside, and he swims in the river all the time. Very smart kid. But he's not smart enough, or not knowledgeable enough. I don't want to insult the guy's intelligence, because he's certainly smarter than me, to discern the fact that the same river that he's, pooping or defecating in and peeing in, he's also swimming in. And I brought that up to him, and he's like, wow, I never really thought about that, but it's true. Anyhow, I think this is one of the apartments. I think this is the apartment that girl was staying in. I'm not sure. Today, as I do this moto vlog, I'm not as confident as I was yesterday. And the reason for that, I'm just really worried about the sound. Because I was out here just blabbing my mouth for a long time, just to go home and find the sound. It wasn't inaudible. That was almost too audible. That's why I'm talking a lot quieter this time. I know I can reduce the sound and all that in the video settings, but what it was doing some crackling sounds as I would raise my voice. It wasn't doing it when I was driving slow, and by slow I mean under 10 kilometers per hour. But every time I got above 10 kilometers per hour, it would start cracking as my voice rose. And the thing is, I gotta remember, I am talking really quiet right now. This microphone's actually halfway decent. It's actually sticking out of my shirt right now. Maybe I should tuck it in. Wonder how much of a difference this makes. I'm gonna drive around a little bit with my shirt tucked like this and see what that does. If it messes anything up, don't worry, I'll fix it in the sound settings. If it makes it so I'm quieter or something, let's turn it up. Anyways, so we're gonna hit this bridge up. And the way these bridges work, or this bridge in particular, before I get to talking like I know a bunch of things, is we're gonna have to go up and turn around and come back the other direction. And we are getting on the waterway, which is a very easy thing to say in Ho Chi Minh City, because there are waterways everywhere. Ho Chi Minh City sits on a delta. It's where the river comes down out of the mountains and branches 30, 40 times, and it snakes all the way through Ho Chi Minh City. It actually makes Ho Chi Minh City a great port city. Oh, I did talk about that a little bit yesterday too. Oh well. It's very, very hard for me to reproduce a moto vlog because it's unscripted. I'm just kind of talking on a whim. I talk about what I talk about, and that's what I talk about. One thing I did point out though yesterday is I do have a bit of a cold. I actually think I felt snot running down my mustache. No, just sweat. I do have a bit of a cold, which is funny because yesterday it was 31 degrees Celsius. Today it feels a little cooler. I'd say it's about 28, just a guess. Don't let the overcast fool you. Yesterday it was sunny though. My point being is, it really does not get cold here. So I guess I can't really even call it a cold. Do we associate like this feeling with being in the cold? Because I haven't been cold whatsoever. So I think it's called a hot. So I have a hot. It's not even warm in Ho Chi Minh City. It is hot. at least for sweaty, white Irish folks like myself. My helmet hit that guy and he didn't like that. My helmet's sticking out quite far. It lightly tapped his leg and he decided to tell me about it. He'll be okay. Anyways, the helmet's tucked in. It was sticking. God, I gotta use the metric system now, but I don't want to. It was sticking a good 9 inches out side of my bike. I don't know what that is in centimeters. But what we're gonna do is, we're in District 8 right now. We're gonna go up here and turn around. There's gonna be a gap in the railing here shortly. And we're gonna make a U-turn. And then we're gonna go, instead of going back over the bridge where I went, we're gonna go right and go down by the water. And we'll get to that question that one of my friends, subscribers, and Patreon asked me one time on a live stream. By the way, my live streams, I do those every Saturday, except for when I don't. And today is going to be one of those instances in which I don't. I am going to stay in tonight because I have classes that I picked up for tomorrow morning. Like I said, struggling to take anything I can right now to make up for the periods I lost. It looks like it's going to be a week or two before I can get filled back in. But that's okay. I guess I don't really mind. I mean, I minded a little bit at first. It's nice to have a little extra time off, but it really, really sucks to... Oh, lordy lord. If you didn't notice, there was a jump there. The time that has surpassed has been about 1 hour. I have already been home and I have come back to the exact same location where my battery died. My battery died and I caught it right around the corner and I switched batteries, but after that point, there is no audio. I continued driving for about 20 minutes and the audio didn't come out at all. And it's not any technical malfunction. It was the fact that my little button on my power pack was set to smartphone and not camera. It has to be set to camera for there to be audio. I did mention problems with my GoPro earlier, and I have it all taped up in order to hold the connections in. This GoPro's getting old. I probably shouldn't talk so loud. Don't really need to, right? This is the exact spot I was, and I'm here, as I said, an hour later, and I'm gonna attempt to reproduce it. Now this is take 3 on the same Moto vlog, saying almost the same things, but all my stuff's unscripted. Not all of it. Well, all of it on my main channel, which would be this channel, is unscripted for the most part. I think I've scripted a couple of videos. That's besides the point. On my gaming channel, I do script. This is where I pulled over and changed the battery, right here. And at this point on, there was no audio whatsoever. So I'm gonna do it again to the best of my ability. I'm gonna try to reproduce everything. And I'm actually, because this GoPro is making me a paranoid schizophrenic without the voices and whatnot. Not really, but you know what I mean? I'm gonna pull over and check the audio again when I get to the other side of this bridge. So here we go. I'm gonna pull over, the camera's gonna cut out. We're gonna check the audio again, and then I'm gonna get to A-Bomb Biker's question about houseboats. All right, audio does sound good. Now I'm going to buckle on the old helmet, and then I'm gonna check to make sure we're still set to camera and not smartphone. Because setting it to camera is what powers the microphone. This GoPro will not actually power this microphone, it'll power another microphone. Weirdly enough, this is a GoPro 7 and it is a complete POS. I've tried to get the telemetry data off of this yesterday for the other failed Moto vlog. That was take 1, this is take 3. And that cost me 3 hours of my life to absolute failure. It was not synced up. The GoPro Quick app doesn't support the GoPro 7. The other PC program, I can't remember what it's called. It's like Race something, I don't know. A-Bomb Biker recommended it to me. It doesn't support GoPro 7 either. GoPro 7's a real pain in my butt. What's funny is I used to have a GoPro 8. But what happened was I lent it to a friend that was going to an ex-friend. That was going to a Cambodian run. And I've never seen that GoPro again. I even bought him new batteries because the GoPro 7 batteries won't shoot 4K footage in a GoPro 8. Something with the power difference or whatever. You know they have GoPro 10s right now? Is it 11? I don't know. Anyways, it's way out of my league, out of my budget. YouTube has been a complete money pit for me. I have spent way more money doing YouTube than I've made on YouTube. You guys are actually curious how much money I've made on YouTube, donations and all, and donations have been most of it. I did do a video titled Get Rich Travel Vlogging in Asia. I'm pulling over here because I'm about to cross the street. I'm going to show you guys these boats over here. Wait for this truck to pass. Now these boats will answer, maybe, I can't cross right now, A-Bomb Biker's question about whether or not he could ride a boat here in Vietnam. And the answer is indubitably, I'm just gonna go out because they gotta avoid me. Indubitably, yes. You can get a boat, but this is what some houseboats look like. And this is the main area where I've seen a lot of houseboats. So I think those are houseboats. People do live in them. I'm looking at a bed right now, and I think a guy's sitting there. But they go out fishing during the day and whatnot. What's really weird about Vietnam, well, it's not weird to me anymore since I've been here for so long, is the limitations on personal freedom just really don't exist here. Another Vietnamese teacher was telling me, as an example, when you go fishing here, there's no laws. So I'm from America, and in America, you gotta get a license, you gotta pay fines, you gotta follow rules, you gotta report, you gotta do all this kind of crazy stuff. Check out the boats. And here, there are no laws when it comes to fishing. You can use, she was telling me, electricity. Now, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of using electricity to catch fish. Maybe that's something you guys know about. If that's something you've heard about, let me know in the comments. I haven't fished from a young age. And I grew up in the country too, so that's kind of unusual to say, but it's the truth. Some more boats. That's actually a coffee shop at night. You can actually go there and order coffee. I've yet to do that. As I was saying earlier in the vlog, it's such a stark contrast between daytime and nighttime. Checking my camera switch right now, that's why I was looking down. Anyways, the other limitations, or lack of, is things like, I can use grammar correctly, I swear, are things like smoking. Smoking is an example. You can smoke anywhere here, as long as the people around you will let you. I mean, if you go into an establishment that doesn't allow smoking, then you can't smoke. If you go into an establishment that allows it, you guessed it, you can smoke. That's a stark contrast to California, as an example, because that's where I'm from, where if you have an employee that's more than one, more than one employee, you can't smoke there, no matter what, it's the law. The law says you cannot smoke there because you have 2 or more employees. Vietnam's not like that. It's up to whoever owns the building, the business, the house, the property or whatever, and whether or not you can smoke there. And now that I think about it, that applies to fishing laws too, because sometimes people actually own the riverways in a certain area or a lake or whatnot, and they can put up signs, you know, please don't fish here. But there's actually no laws against it. So the same thing applies to boating too. There's no real laws. I mean, I'm sure you can't bring a cargo barge. I doubt A-Bomb Biker would want to buy a cargo barge or something like that, but there's really no laws governing the use of the waterways. Same with alcohol. I know I'm bouncing a little back and forth here on personal freedoms, but in America, you have to stop selling alcohol, at least in California, past 2 a.m. I know it's different in states like Nevada, but you can't drink on the streets in California. I know in Nevada you can, but personal freedoms, there's no laws against it. If you want to drink beer and walk around the streets, go for it. Nobody's going to stop you. Now, I understand that, you know, maybe you don't want to have glass bottles out there because people can throw the bottles and they'll break and it'll pop tires. Or maybe if people are drinking out in public, there's going to be a lot of public intoxication, which, you know, goes without saying. You're in public, you're drinking, you're intoxicated, public intoxication. But, you know, I think the same stuff happens in America, right? You're still just as drunk, you just get drunk inside and then go outside. When it comes to like fighting and whatnot, I think it's about the same. People get in fights, people throw chairs at each other, people go into shouting matches. I doubt there's more instances of DUIs here than America. They do DUI checkpoints and all that stuff, and you will get in big trouble if you get caught drinking and driving here. You should never drink and drive. But And now I'm not condoning drinking and driving, but one thing I thought I wanted to share is, in America, we don't drive these little scooters, right? We drive 1-ton missiles down the freeway. And when we're drinking and driving, we're essentially driving a gigantic weapon. I had a friend here, I'm not gonna mention his name, but if you're listening, you know who you are. He got really drunk and he crashed his motorbike running into a curve, and he got really hurt, or he hurt himself. But nobody else got hurt. Now imagine if that was a 1-ton missile and that hits the curb because you blacked out. Not only, well, you might not even hurt yourself, but you're definitely gonna go up over the curb and into the building and maybe kill somebody sleeping in their bedroom or in their living room, or destroy a whole bunch of property, and you'll probably live because you'll have airbags protecting you. So in America, drinking and driving, it seems like it would be a lot more dangerous, just because of the fact you're just driving a weapon. But all that aside, there's no laws against being outside drinking as long as you're not driving. You don't have to hide it in a brown paper bag or do anything like that. Let's check out these boats some more. Those are some more traditional, or to me traditional, American style traditional, smaller type boats right there. That's actually the first time I've actually visually noticed those, or consciously noticed them. And you got some more houseboats here. So it is common. There's really nobody here to say that you can't do anything, as long as you're not hurting somebody. I mean, if you want to go around fighting people, the thing is, if the police are called, they're going to break up the fight, but you're not going to go to jail. They're going to break up the fight, they're going to make everyone leave, and that's going to be the end of it, or it should be. I mean, just like in America, if you get in a fight, the police come, the police throw you in jail, but you're in jail for the night, then you get out and the fight wants to continue, then it'll continue. I mean, the same thing happens here. The police will break it up, but you're not going to go to jail. Maybe there'll be a family vendetta and they'll come in later, but so you have the freedom to fight here without getting in trouble. I've seen many people get in fights, not that you would want to, but I've seen many people get in fights and the police will come and they'll just tell you, go away, get out of here. No, quit fighting, move on. Don't know where I'm at now. Actually, I do. So we're gonna be coming into District 7 right now. And I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. I did know where I was at. I was just trying to replicate my other MotoVlog. where I legitimately didn't know where I was at. And I went on to say at this point that I used to get very nervous driving through Ho Chi Minh City and not having a GPS or knowing where I'm at, but I've been here for so long that I don't really get nervous anymore. If you turn right here, it'll actually go towards where I live, but it'll go towards District 7. I'm gonna turn left here just for a little spice. This highway right here is brand new. They just finished it a couple, 3-4 months ago. And this is not the heart of Ho Chi Minh City, this is more like the arteries of Ho Chi Minh City. So it's really neat having a big street like this in the city proper and not on the outskirts. I mean, a lot of the highways in Vietnam and around Ho Chi Minh City, and I can say safely in Vietnam because I've been all over Vietnam. I've been to the Chinese border and back, are actually like this. And there's a lot that aren't, but there's a lot that are. And it's really nice and refreshing to have all this space. But most of the streets in the city cannot handle cars. And that's why there's such a huge bureaucracy and feeing process to own a car here. Getting your driver's license is ridiculously expensive. A car here costs on average 4 times more than it would cost in the States. And then the paperwork to own the car every year, and the insurance and all that stuff is just, it's so overpriced. It's not because somebody's trying to make money. It's to discourage people from buying them. This city would really, really shut down if everybody was driving a car. I'm gonna pull over and check the sound again. I swear to God, this sound thing. I'm gonna give me a break, guys. I'm gonna take 3 on the same MotoVlog, all because of the sound. Picture works out great. So I actually have to stop it here. All right. So the sound is still good. The tape is working great. That was the problem with my first MotoVlog, is the connections kept jiggling loose as I drove, which caused a lot of popping sounds. I said earlier in the video what I would do with that MotoVlog. If you want to see it, which I don't know why you would. I'm kind of repeating most of it, though I was on point a little better on that MotoVlog. Today I'm on 4 hours of sleep. But anyways, if you want to see it, I'm going to put it on Patreon simultaneously with this one. You can be my 6th Patreon. The first one to sign up will be my 6th Patreon. Thanks to my other 5 too, by the way. Really, really appreciate that. YouTube doesn't really pay for anything. Like I've said, I'm totally 100% or 200% in the hole doing this, but it's fun. I'm leaving a legacy for someone. I don't know. I don't have kids. Maybe I'll have a kid someday, but leaving a legacy for someone of who I am and what I'm about and the things I have to say, as super interesting as they are. But any kind of support is greatly appreciated. I definitely need to sign up for and save for a new GoPro. Anyhow, this area right here, I've actually been here once or twice before. My girlfriend has come in this area to pick up some clothes. She's an absolute shopaholic. She plays this, well, it's playing for her because she calls it a mini game. This thing on Facebook where you like, share, and or all those social media terminologies. A lady that's very popular down here that sells clothes, and whoever does it gets randomly picked for a free dress or something like that. She's gone through 10 different Facebook accounts, 5 different email addresses, 5 different phone numbers, probably more than that. I'm probably being a little conservative on my numbers. I know she's used my phone number a few times. I've helped her set up at least 3 emails that I can remember. She uses her mom number. You know, the reason why she does that is because they become onto you, and they know that you won a certain amount of times, so they don't want to let you win anymore. So she keeps changing her name. And you need to have a certain amount of friends. I think it's 300 friends in order for you to be considered as a real Facebook account, which explains a lot, because since I've been in Vietnam, I get friend requests all the time of people that I don't know who the heck they are, and I'll take a look at their profile and it looks absolutely fake. And for years I'm like, what the heck is going on? Why do I keep getting these fake Facebook accounts friend requesting me? Now I know why. It's because of those rules where you need 300 friends, so people just spam request everybody on their fake accounts, and her accounts look just as fake as all the other accounts. So anyways, let's go back to my GoPro for a minute. I did a overlay, not an overlay, it was gonna be an overlay of the equipment I'm using, because it was a subscribers, commenters, so I assume he's a subscriber, it's definitely a commenter. It's a question of what kind of setup I use for my MotoVlogs. So I'm gonna overlay that here. I'm gonna pull over so you guys don't miss a moment of the action driving around the streets. I'm gonna overlay that here, so I'll show you guys my setup and I'll talk about it briefly. All right, MotoVlog supplemental. I'm actually using my phone right now, and I wanna show you guys this mess of a camera equipment, what I deal with here. Sorry if I turn my head, I was distracted by the guy talking. These are my batteries, and they're not GoPro brand. They may say GoPro somewhere on them. I'm not sure. Let me hold it on this side because that's where the camera's at. I'm not sure. These things are an absolute mess. This one actually has, this is for sure not a GoPro brand. This is a cheap Chinese knockoff. This one actually I had to put tape around so I could grip it right here. Right here, yeah, right here to pull it out of my battery socket. Got an old GoPro. This is my camera setup. Some of you guys have asked me in my comments before, what kind of cameras do you use to do your MotoVlog? Well, here you are. This is it. It's a GoPro 7, old as hell, and some batteries that are literally, I mean quite literally, falling apart. And of course, what I use here is a GoPro holder, I guess, on my helmet. It's there with tape. It's very strong tape. Now these are the old GoPro that don't support audio. So I actually had to buy an audio adapter for about $2 million, 80 bucks. And this will plug into the side of my GoPro. And I'm using a lapel mic. That's where it connects into the audio adapter, and it's wired. And it's stretching all the way here and up my shirt to right here. And I keep it under my shirt. And I just popped that off. And I think I just popped off the, what do you call this thing? I don't know terminology. I'm gonna call it the microphone pillow. I think I just popped it off, so I gotta find that now. So hopefully that'll answer your questions for all of you guys that asked me what kind of camera setup I use. Impressive, right? All right, so that's what I'm using. Those batteries are very cheap Chinese batteries. I made a mistake that a lot of people will make. Hey, that's a Feng Vu. Gotta say it right. I ordered an HDMI cable from there 4, 5, 6 days ago. It wasn't that long ago. But it turned out to be, because I needed a 10-meter cable, because I was gonna run a cable from my computer to my television in the living room. And it's kind of far. And it turned out to be a 1.2, and I needed a 2.0 to run 4K video. And then I discovered the magic of Plex servers. So I didn't even need to do that to begin with, so I feel bad for ordering it and not even buying it. But it's not like they, oh, excuse me, had the burps there. That tastes like Sting. It's not like they lost the money because they just ordered it from another store and they'll sell it there, but it's besides the point. Plex server is awesome. And I'm very, very happy. Movie nights are so much more enjoyable now that I'm not having to take the movie, load it on a hard drive, find the torrents, go into, what was I using? Pot Player. VLC works too, but Pot Player will do the double subtitles. Every movie I watch has to have subtitles because my girlfriend, while she is near fluent in English, there's a lot of nuances to English that's used, especially in movies, that she won't understand. So subtitles are a must. But now you can grab the subtitles right off of Plex. I can pull it right off my computer. I don't have to load it to an external drive and then load it on my little tiny HP. It's a little tiny, I don't know. It looks like a couple boxes of playing cards stacked next to each other. I've shown it before. Now I just use Plex server and it's absolutely great. So I like that a lot. Earlier I was talking about, I'm trying my best to replicate everything that I've talked about, and I'm actually rambling on different subjects too, because that's what I'm known to do. I was talking about wages. I'm gonna take a left-hand turn here, and this is where I would have ended up if I took that right-hand turn earlier I mentioned. I'm just about a kilometer down the street now. I mentioned teachers' wages. And the teachers, when it comes to being a teacher here, there's a little bit of racism involved, but it's not intentional racism. It's more like, I don't know, it's not really qualified because speaking English is not really a skill. There is levels of qualification. For example, you could have a master's degree in teaching, which would make you qualified. But for example, if you're from like Russia or France or Spain or whatever, and you have an accent, English isn't your first language, you're not a native speaker, and that's what they say here, native. You know, you're not wearing, obviously, feathers on your head and dancing around. It's not that kind of native. What they mean is English as a first language. So you have an accent, and then you're kind of the bottom of the barrel. And I hate to say it, but that's just the way it is. And it's actually worse in other countries. It's way worse in Japan, from what I've heard. Even Filipinos speak English just as much as they speak Tagalog. I don't know if I'm saying it right, please correct me. And they won't even get paid as much. But if you're not an American, an Australian, British, you're gonna be at the bottom of the barrel. You're gonna start at $12, $13 an hour. If you start getting more experience, which of course you will if you stick with it, you'll move up to $16, $17, $18 an hour. If you're coming here as a native speaker, then you will get about $18 an hour, which you can move up from there. If you come here as a native speaker with a master's degree, not just a bachelor's degree, which is what's required, but with a master's degree, you can earn upwards to $25 an hour, which is competitive with the IT field. The IT field in Ho Chi Minh City is burgeoning, bustling. There is a really good IT sector here, and if you're qualified to work IT, I highly recommend that you come here and get an IT job. There's a lot of Indians coming in right now with vast IT knowledge that are getting really, really good jobs here. So if you do have that kind of degree, skip the teaching and go straight to IT. That's my advice. This is District 7, Phu My Hung. I've driven through here before, but this is what it looks like, I don't know, 9 months later, all the same. It really sucks I had to do this MotoVlog thing 3 times, but it is what it is. There's nothing much I can do about it. I want to get you guys a MotoVlog. I haven't put out a legit video in 2 weeks. Been really busy with schools. And hey, that's what I was talking about when my MotoVlog cut out, was the fact that I lost hours. And I was saying it didn't bother me, right? But it does kind of bother me because I'm losing money. But I have time to come out and make a MotoVlog, which is nice. I did have classes for 3 hours. One class. It was 1 3-hour class. Something I've never even heard of before. Not even in college would I have ever had a 3-hour class. There's this like basic psychology doesn't apply when it comes to attention spans. Let me do a battery check. Until I get a new GoPro, this is what I'm going to be doing all the time, to check my batteries and check my sound. This thing has just lost its dependability. Hope that was a leaf that fell off me. Ghetto. What was I talking about again? I'm out here on 4 hours of sleep trying to check. Ooh, that's a nice Mercedes. Ooh, shiny object. It's like when I play Valheim, trying to stay focused on something. Valheim is a game that I've been live streaming on my gaming channel. By the way, if you guys don't know that I do a gaming channel and you happen to be interested in gaming and you want to check that out, it's gamerabroad.com/gaming. And even if you're not into gaming and you feel like taking 30 seconds of your time to shoot over there and hit that subscribe button, that'd be really cool. I'm trying to get that up to 1,000 subscribers. You know, I've never once bought a subscriber, but I have asked for subscribers, but I never bought one. Even if you're not into gaming, it's okay. If you don't want to take time to do it, I understand too. Time is precious. You never want to rob somebody of their time. Time is something in life that you never get back. If somebody comes along and intentionally wastes like 1 hour of your time, like some of my videos might do, you can almost call them a murderer, right? They've murdered 1 hour of your life. Not quite that severe, but you know what I mean, because you get to enjoy consciousness and being in the moment and present and all that kind of stuff. This is a very dangerous intersection. I actually saw a guy die right here. I don't know if you can see my finger. Died right here. I didn't see him in the act of dying, but I saw him dead on the street. And there was another one up here to the left too that I saw die. I think there's a lot of motorbike related deaths here in Ho Chi Minh City. Oh, that reminded me of another thing that I talked about on my second take of the Moto Vlog when it comes to personal freedoms. One personal freedom that you don't have in Vietnam is the right to not wear a helmet. You have to wear a helmet here. However, you can wear a helmet much like I'm wearing right now, which only cost me $3. And it's essentially a chunk of plastic with a little foam so as not to hurt my precious little skin. This place right here gets the most truck traffic. I'm gonna point my GoPro at this apartment complex right there. And that's called La Vida, which means the life in Spanish. And I was looking at apartments there a couple years ago when it was first built. It's fully open now. And it cost, hell, I think they were asking 13 million and I negotiated down to 12, but still didn't take it. They had a no furnished one for 11 million and my girlfriend really liked it, but I convinced her correctly too, I might add. That's ice, not glass. I thought I was gonna give you an example of ice on the ground. See how I digress? That living here would be bad because this intersection is very loud, it's extremely loud. On my last Moto Vlog, on take 2, I pointed out the tunnel, which I'm not going to show you. You know what? I'm going to upload that on Patreon too. You can hear me talking, by the way. It's just so low, it's just not YouTube quality. You got to be careful with YouTube quality, especially when it comes to sound. Here's what a Vietnamese police officer looks like, if you guys are interested. The police officers out here in Ya Bay are very, very friendly. I've dealt with a lot of them a few times because, to be frank, well, to be Adam and Frank, a lot of times you get pulled over here just because you're foreign, and it has a lot to do with the fact that same reason why people will come up and talk to you. They just want to talk English. They may be out here with their colleagues. There may be one officer with 3 of his officer friends, and he wants to show off his English abilities, so he pulls you over just to show off his English abilities. So I've had that happen to me a number of times. And because of that, my face is like a little bit more recognized in this area, and the cops are very friendly. One time they were doing a random stop right here where I'm at exactly. I was on my way home. and they saw my face, they said, let go, which means go. Just because they recognize, they know I'm licensed. The main reason they would pull over a foreigner for like any kind of check would be the obvious. Oh, he's foreign, he probably doesn't have a license, right? So they know I'm licensed, so he just saw my face, told me to let go. I wasn't breaking any laws or anything like that. Just opportunity check. We are still recording, which is good. I'm gonna let the people behind me honk eventually. There they are. Knew they would. Because I'm blocking traffic like a total a-hole. Anyways, I haven't done a motovlog in so long, and I have so many stories to tell. So expect more of this in the future. I'm getting close to my house right now. Closer. Not terribly close. If you want to see what my apartment looks like, I did do a video on that. But I'm trying not to show too much exactly where I live. It's not like enough people watch me and actually care about me and dox me or anything like that. But yeah, they're set. Paranoia. Anyways, thank you so much for watching my motovlog. Look forward to more, because I'm going to be doing more. I have so much to say. So many things to talk about. I don't want, it's so hard for me to say goodbye. I don't want to let you guys go. I hate to say goodbye, but I love to watch you leave. It's all out in the movie. Anyhow, you guys are awesome. Thanks so much for coming out and listening to me ramble, or watching, enjoying the scenes of Vietnam. It's really a beautiful country and a beautiful city. It's a great life, a beautiful life here, and I encourage all of you to at least give it a chance if you're interested. Ask me any questions you may have in the comments. I would do a shout out to all my longtime subscribers, and some I might even say friends, but I'm getting close to home, so I'll do that in my next moto vlog. You guys are awesome, and I hope you guys stay that way, and please stick around for more. You guys have been great for sticking with me for that long. Gamer brought out.